Oh, if you haven't, would you please grab 2 colors? Have 2 colors, please. Yeah. Okay. So, on Friday, we were talking about rate of change, and we introduced some other vocabulary as well on Friday. And rate of change turned out to be the same as slope. They're just 2 different phrases that represent the same thing. And we also have a letter that we use to represent slope or rate of change. We use the letter M. And we're going to figure out today how to calculate the rate of change or slope between any 2 points. Now, just to refresh your memory from what we did on Friday, so I have a little XY coordinate plane here, and maybe I had a line, and what we wanted to do on Friday was figure out the rate of change from one point on the graph to another point on that line. And I said on Friday, to find the slope given a graph, we do rise over run, okay? And we can do the same thing. So what we wanted to do then was find the rise. So we started on the leftmost point and said, hey, what do I have to do to rise? So this represents our rise, R-I-S-E, the vertical change, okay? And then we wanted to also represent the run, which was the horizontal change to the right. All right, so how much up or down, and then how much to the right. And that was the rise and the run. And it was pretty easy when we had a nice graph and the numbers were small. So the question is, what do we do when this point, maybe this point is like 312, meaning we had to go right 3 and then up 12 to get to this ordered pair. And maybe this point is like, I don't know, 51 and 74. Okay, so what do we do when the numbers aren't nice and small, countable? Okay, so how can I use these ordered pairs to figure out this vertical change between the points? What information do we use to know how much it's going up? How much is this point up? It's up 12, isn't it? Okay. We went right 3 and then up 12 to get to there. How much is this point up? 74. 74. Hey. Do you add them or do you subtract them? Subtract. Very good. So if I want to find this vertical change, that is with the y values, because that's our y-axis. It's starting here at 12 on the y-axis, and it's going up to 74. And if I want to find how long just between that is, I would need to subtract 74 minus 12. So I subtract those y values, and that's going to give me the rise that we had to go. Do you see that? Does that make sense to you? A little bit? Now, how are we going to figure out how far to the right our point went over? The 51 and the 3, yeah. So this point starts here on the x-axis at 3, and then it has to go over to this point, which is at 51. And that is the change between those two. So again, if we want to know how far to the right that had to go, it's the same as this distance from 3 to 51. So we can get that by subtracting. Ladies and gentlemen, you just derived the slope formula. You just figured out how we do it. So it turns out that to find the slope or rate of change because they are the same. To find the slope or rate of change between any 2 points. Now here we have 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2. These are subscripts, so I'd say x sub 1. It's a little subscript, a little sub 1, and then y sub 1. Here I have x sub 2 and y sub 2. What we have here are just ordered pairs. This one is first. That's why it gets a little subscript 1. And this ordered xy pair is the second one. So we're giving it a subscript 2. And if we want to find the slope, m is for slope. It is a fraction. From Friday, we did rise. Today I'm going to add on to that. Was rise over run on Friday. I'm going to add on a little bit. I want to say rise with the y's. Write that down. Rise with the y's. Anytime I can take a phrase that's pretty easy to remember, like rise over run, and say, hey, what if you now say rise with the y's? Over run. Rise over run, but rise with the y's. It rhymes. That's going to help you remember that we want to write our fraction with the y values on top. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our ordered pairs, and today I'm going to have you circle your y values. Will you take a color, one color, and circle your 2 y values, please? And what we're going to do is I'm going to start over here on the second ordered pair. I'm going to say y sub 2, and then I'm going to subtract y sub 1. So we're going to subtract our y values. And then I'm going to use my second color, and I have my x's. I'm going to underline my x's. And again, I'm going to start from that same ordered pair, x sub 2, and then I'm going to subtract x sub 1. This is the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It's something you're going to have to memorize. Hopefully after you do it enough, you'll just be able to do it because you've done it so much, okay? So you're subtracting your y's. This is why I say rise with the y's, so we remember that the y coordinate is on top, okay? Really important. Always remember to simplify your answers. So Math Frock is going to be pretty useful today, all right? So keep that in mind. We want to find the slope between each pair of points. So what we want to remember is that slope is always a fraction. And what I would like you to do is I would like you to take one color, and will you circle all your y coordinates on the whole page? Go ahead and circle your y coordinates with one color on your whole page. What I'm trying to avoid is you crossing your x's and y's and getting them confused. So circle all the y coordinates, please, in one color. Now with your second color, will you underline all the x's? And the reason I'm having you underline the x's is because the x's go under the bar. Underline the x's because they go under, all right? Now hopefully with me spending a little bit of time, you guys will understand this and be able to do it right every time. So here we go. We have our first ordered pair and our second ordered pair. And I'm always going to start with the second ordered pair. So I'm starting here with the 12, and I have to subtract the 8. So on the top, you're going to write 12 minus 8. On the bottom, the things that are under, the underlined things, I'm starting from the same place. I'm starting from the right-hand point, the second point. So I'm starting with the 3, and I'm going to subtract the negative 13. So I have 3 minus a negative 13. You have to be very careful with your negatives, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, that's the setup we're going to do for every single problem, and the rest is just math. You can use a calculator. What is 12 minus 8? 4. And here we have 3 minus the negative 13. What do you do when you have minus a negative? A calculator? So yeah, I could type it into my calculator. I could do 3 subtract negative 13. But minus a negative, what is negative times negative? Add, yeah. So this really is just a plus. I can just turn that minus a negative into a plus. So 3 plus 13 is? Negative 16. Oh, positive.
No.
Close though. Now, we must reduce. 1 over 4. Yeah, I can divide top and bottom by 4. So we get 1 over 4. You do need to reduce your fractions. Okay? That's it. Let's write another. Slope is equal to a fraction. Rise with the y. So I'm going to start with my y coordinate. I'm starting with 16. And I'm going to subtract the negative 12. And then in the denominator, the x's go on the bottom. What do I start with? 5. I'm starting with the 5. And I'm going to subtract the 19. So you should write 5 minus 19. That's the setup. And if you do that right, you'll always get it right. Hopefully. All right. What happens with 16 minus a negative 12? You add. 16 plus 12 is 28. On the bottom 5, take away 19. Negative 14. Very good. And what is 28 divided by negative 14? Oh, 2 over 1, negative 2. 28 divided by 14, it goes in 2 times, so negative 2. Could you use a calculator? Absolutely. Okay. I'm using my brain because I have one. But if you want to double check, use your calculator. All right. Slope is a fraction. We're going to do one more together. If you think you get it, please do more. Please keep going. Rise with the y's. I'm going to start with my y coordinate of 3 and subtract the 9. What am I going to write on the bottom? Negative 10, good, minus negative 15, beautiful. Negative 10 minus the negative 15. On the top, 3 minus 9 is negative 6. On the bottom, minus a negative turns to a plus, so that becomes a negative 10 and a positive 15, which would be 5 wins there, a positive 5 wins. And this does not reduce. That is a perfect answer. Will you please keep going? I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to practice on your own. So I just want to make sure that you're doing things in the right order. Cashton, you should have that stuff written down. What are you doing, man? Please write down the rest. Good. Good. That works. Good. Oh, careful. So if you're starting here with the 8 and you're subtracting the negative 4, okay? And then you have your negative 1, then you're subtracting the 8, okay? Negative 1 minus 8 would be a negative 9. Okay, so be a little careful.
Oh shoot, I wrote the wrong thing.
8, careful here. On your second one, 8 minus a negative 1. Yeah. Good. Good. Good.
I messed up my homework.
Careful. Here, we started with the negative 4, and you subtracted 8. That's perfect. So you have to start from the same place here.
No.
So that has to be the 8, and then you'd have to subtract
Okay.
the negative 1. Okay.
Oh, so I gotta flip that.
Yeah. It's so important. If you do them in a different order, you're going to get the wrong answer every time. It's going to be flipped every time. So careful on this one. You started 4 and subtracted the 8 perfectly. then we have to start from the same place. You started with the 4, we have to start with the 8, which you did, and then subtract a negative 1. So it's minus a negative 1. Minus a negative becomes 9, and that will reduce. So you can math frac that. Good? Good. And this one reduces, so you'd want to math frac that. So you can put it in your calculator. 9 minus 7 over 5 minus 12. That's perfect. Good. Good. And yes, it's a positive 5. Good job. Good.
That can't divide down, right?
It doesn't go any further, so that's a perfect fraction. I feel like this one is weird, though. Let's see. So you did 8, and then you there's your problem. So you can start with 8, and then you can subtract, but you're subtracting a negative 4. So there's a minus a negative 4. And then you have negative 1 minus 8. Yeah? Okay. Good. Negative 4 and a negative 8 would make it a negative 12. Yeah. Oh, did you get it? Yeah? Okay. Oh, there it is. Uh-huh.
5.
Yeah. Yeah, good. All right. Good. Good. Okay. Good, perfect. All right, what you got?
3.
Okay, so if you draw the arrows, I think it's going to help you out here. All right, so negative 4 minus the 8, and then you're going to have we're started over here with the negative 4, so I have to start here with the 8. So on the bottom, you're going to write 8. And then minus is my arrow, and we're subtracting
So why is
the negative 1.
10? 10 first. Why is 10 first instead of the...
Because we're starting, I'm always starting.
You did it right.
Yep.
So,
All right, very good, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Pay attention. On, this one, you should get the answer negative 4/3. If you got negative 12 over 9, you just need to math frac, all right? So you can math frac that needed reducing. Number 5, you would have gotten negative 5 over negative 1, which again, negative divided by negative is positive. All right, so you get positive 5. On number 6, negative 2 over 7. Number 7, negative 1 over 3. Number 8, negative 2 over 5. Number 9, 5 over 4 for the slope. And number 10 is a negative 1 for the slope. We're going to keep practicing. So turn the page. I encourage you today, circle your Y's so that you don't use them up twice. All right, so we do have some special cases that are going to come up. Again, will you please take one color and circle your Y's? Take one color, just these two for now. And circle your Y's, and take your second color and underline the X's. Underline the X coordinate. All right. On special cases, Cashin, are you writing this down? Okay. All right, we have a slope. We have a fraction that we're setting up for each of these. Quiet, please. Here we go. So I'm starting with the negative 4 on the right-hand side here, and I'm subtracting the negative 4. That's what my little arrow's telling me. It's a subtract there. So, and then, again, starting from the right point, I'm starting with my 1, and I'm subtracting the negative 5. So my little arrow is really subtract. All right, what happens here? Negative 4 minus a negative 4. You add minus a negative turns to a big plus. What is negative 4 plus 4? 0. On the bottom, negative 1 minus 5. Add so you get 6. What is 0 divided by any number? 0. Okay. So 0 divided by 6 is definitely 0. The calculator agrees. So it is 0. What does that look like? What kind of line is that? What shape is it? Horizontal. Very good. It's a horizontal line. That's a slope of 0. Okay? It's a slope of 0. Okay. On number 12, again, we're setting up a fraction. What am I going to subtract first? Negative 2, and then minus the 3. Beautiful. Gentlemen, write it down. And then on the bottom, I'm going to start with 7. Very good. Minus 7. All right. Negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. 7 minus 7 is 0. Is it? This is very different. Are we allowed to divide by 0? Let's see. If you're unsure, we could check in our calculator. If the 0 is under, we get a giant error message, okay? It doesn't like dividing by 0. When the 0 is under, it is undefined. The answer is undefined. No, we're not done. It's taking longer than it needs to because you guys are too chatty. Ladies and gentlemen, when the 0 is under, it's undefined. Every single time, a 0 underneath means undefined. That's the answer, undefined. What kind of line does that look like? Vertical line, yes. That is the slope when it's impossible, undefined, vertical line. All right? Okay. We're going to skip down to given a table. We want to find the slope, and in Delta Math today, they use the phrase rate of change. They are the same thing. Rate of change and slope, same thing. So we are finding the slope that passes through the points given in the table. There's an N missing there, given in the table. Now, did they give us anything different, or is it just presented differently? It's just presented differently. They're giving me an ordered pair, a second ordered pair, a third ordered pair, a fourth ordered pair. Do I need all those ordered pairs? I just need to pick 2. So I'm just going to take my 2 ordered pairs, negative 6, 11, and negative 2, comma 1, and do the exact same thing. And again, I'm going to say to you today, I encourage you to, at the very least, write your ordered pairs and circle the Y's so you start with the proper thing. Rise with the Y's. So I'm going to start with the 1, and I'm going to subtract the 11. So 1 minus 11 on top. And then, again, starting from the right point, the right side point, here I have my negative 2 I haven't used, and I am going to subtract the negative 6. So negative 2 minus a negative 6. What's 1 minus 11? Negative 10. And then again, if you know, maybe integers aren't your cup of tea, negative 2, subtract negative 6. You can type it in just like that, and it'll do it correctly. We get a 4. Is this a good answer? I need to reduce. So negative 10 over 4, I'm going to math bracket. Negative 5 over 2. Your fractions need to be reduced. Let's look at number 19. I have 4 ordered pairs here. What am I going to do?
Order them. Oh, wait, they all.
Do I need 4? How many do I need? 2. Just pick 2. Any 2? First and second. You can pick any 2 that you want. So negative 1, 6, and 3, 6. I want to find my slope, which is a fraction. And I'm going to circle my y's. So I'm going to say I'm starting here with the 6 on the right, and I'm going to subtract the other 6. So 6 minus 6. And then on the bottom, I'm starting with the 3, and I'm going to subtract the negative 1. What is 6 minus 6? 0 over 4. Very good. What is 0 divided by any number? 0. Very good. Are you getting the pattern? Y minus y? Okay, last one. Number 22. Again, I can pick any 2 points. Negative 2, comma 5 and negative 2, comma 3 are the first 2. You could pick any 2. Doesn't matter. From my table, wouldn't matter. And then I'm going to circle my y's because that's what I want to start with. Rise with the y's. So I have my slope as a fraction. I'm going to start with the 3 and subtract the 5. And then on the bottom, I'm starting with the negative 2, and I'm subtracting the negative 2. What is 3 minus 5? Negative 2. And here we have negative 2 minus a negative 2. That's going to turn to plus, so it becomes 0. What is the slope when the 0 is under?
Undefined.
Undefined. All right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing slope. What goes on top?
Y.
The y's. Rise with the y's. Okay. You guys have a